streamed in over 50 countries.
We have to say hello to Nigel in Hong Kong, who single-handedly managed to get us to, wait for this, Dan, number 9 on the Apple Podcast charts for British football shows in Hong Kong.
Over 40 guest interviews and counting.
We would like to welcome to the St Johnstone Podcast ex-Scotland internationalist and all-round hero Del Boy John O'Neill. It's the Dogger Saints' pleasure to introduce Liam Craig, Michael Dewberry, the St Johnstone legend Stephen Anderson. How you doing, buddy? You okay?
I'm alright, just doing away as usual.
It's Hall of Fame member Nick Dazovic.
How you guys doing?
Over £3,000 worth of terrible merchandise discussed.
But it is a dog waste bag dispenser with a Bournemouth badge on it.
Join Sam and Dan as they chat about the mighty Perth Saint Johnstone.
Stephen Anderson scores! It's come through to McLean! He has scored! It's on McClure! It's in! It is unbelievable! To Rooney! And what is it about Sean Rooney and cup finals?
It's the Dogger Saints Podcast.
A very tasteful intro, I feel, for our first birthday celebrations. This is the Dogger Saints Podcast. I'm Sam Miller, and there's only one man I wanted to spend this momentous occasion with. I couldn't get him, so I'm here with Danny Williams instead.
When you hit milestones like this, you look back and you think about it and you realise I've completely wasted a year of my life.
It's been a fun year. It's had its ups, it's had its downs.
It's been something special, mate. And here is to many more, hopefully, of this handy weekly compendium of nonsense.
Indeed it is. And what a packed show we have got this evening. We have got, we're going to be speaking to the boys of the Almondview Podcast because, get it right up them, the Saints are back. And I'm going to say it. Can I say it? Can I say my line? Can I say it?
Get out of the road.
We don't get going until after Christmas, and I feel we have got going.
I want to look at it in a sensible fashion, in the sense that it's one win. We've been on a stinking run. Draw against Dundee wasn't much cop, even though Stottler, no, I can't do it. We're back, baby. The sexy Saints. We're coming back. Top 6, full of pricks, and we're going to break it up. We're coming for you. We are coming for you.
Sorry, I cut you off with my celebration tune, but we couldn't celebrate anything if it wasn't for the fine people at Flonix Limited. Flonix.co.uk, as you know by now, is the flexible. As you know, Flonix offers flexible IT support, professional IT project delivery, and expert IT advice. Head offices in Perth, Edinburgh, Manchester, and London, all over the place for your IT needs. No matter where you are in the country, these guys can sort you out.
They know what they're doing. They've got the right stuff. And we want to thank Dan and everyone at Flonix for the continued support of the podcast. They've been great to us over the past year, and we're delighted that they're on board again for this episode.
Lovely stuff. What a week as well to sponsor us on our first birthday party. Like I said, an understated orchestral intro, I feel. It was nice.
It was tasteful. It was understated.
It was lovely. But if you think you've heard us talk about Flonix before, today is Groundhog Day after all, so I think we should play this as well. If you've not seen Groundhog Day, then this could be one big loss to you. But if you have seen Groundhog Day, what a movie. Bill Murray, what a guy.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Groundhog Day, the big question is, like, what are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? It's got it all going on. It's got Bill Murray providing the chuckles. And Andy McDowell when, she was the thing.
when she was. Had a mini driver. They were the two faces of the time. But we have got lots to talk about. Let's get straight into it. Let's go in order. First, actually, before we get started, I'll apologise for this being a Wednesday episode. There was a lot happening on Monday and Tuesday, and we thought we need to squeeze this into this show, basically. So we'll go back to the start. Dundee, that kicked off our undefeated run since after Christmas, but if you take the Celtic game out of it. And this is what happened. Yep, absolutely fuck all. It was 0-0, it was a dour game, but there is some positives to take out that game. Daniel.
I like how you just overlooked Hearts and Kelsey as well.
Yeah, they don't count.
In terms of unbeaten run after Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Short memories, eh?
Short memories. Yeah, it was a bit of a, to be honest with you, the Dundee game, as has been sort of the case through January, the most interesting element was personnel rather than anything actually to do with football, it was two dreadful sides playing out a dreadful game of football. Sorry, two sides that performed dreadfully playing out a dreadful game of football, I should say. Yeah, not a lot happened, but yeah, I think the personnel thing, because like the day before that game, it was a bit of a surprise recall, but so Callum Hendry was brought back from his loan at Kilmarnock. That was cut short, and he was right back into the starting 11. He was excellent.
He looked up for it, eh?
He really looked up for it, and it continued the sort of theme that I talked about last week of the guys that have been sort of out of it, either new signings or guys coming back and off loan, not looking sort of scarred. And I think what you started to see, particularly Hendry, was rubbing off a little bit, and particularly Chris Kane, who I thought had a pretty good game as well against Dundee. Unfortunately, Chris Kane only ended up on the pitch because of another personnel issue of Nadia Chifchi doing a hammy within about 2 minutes.
Yeah, Nadia Chifchi going off injured isn't ideal, is it?
It's not, because he had made such a bright start for us, particularly at Tynecastle the week before. So, yeah, that was a blow, but so we don't really know how long it's going to be, or actually the specifics of the injury. If it's pulled hamstring, it's about a month, give or take. So, which is what it looked like. It didn't look like he'd torn it or anything like that. So, yeah, that is about all I've got to say about the Dundee game. It was a missed opportunity, but it stopped the rot.
It is. What about Nadia Chifchi going off injured, eh?
Just said that.
Both barrels. You walked straight into that, my friend.
Honestly.
Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, that was far too easy. I thought I was going to struggle with that and have to
re-edit. That was unbelievable.
I'm bringing the comedy timing this week, my friend.
That might have been the funniest thing you've ever done.
Thanks. Ever. Apart from my comment about Ali Crawford at the game last night, which we'll get to in due course.
Yeah, I think everyone that was of our sort of the five of us that went had to take back some words at the end of that game.
Yeah, I think my phrase halfway during the second half was Ali Crawford is more of a passenger than the band Passenger.
I mean, that was so bad it was funny.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
The Groundhog Day, Jake, that had a bit of wit to it.
Indeed, but we will get to the Livingston game very, very soon. But transfer deadline day was on Monday. It came and went, and we brought in another absolute hat full of players. Ridiculous. To join, quote, Dan Cleary, John Mahon, Nadir Chifchi, Tony Gallagher, recalls of Callum Henry, Charlie Gilmore, Max Kucheravsky, and the permanent signings of Cammy McPherson and Ali McCann, which was already been brought in and dealt with in January. We also brought in, we'll go through them. We'll start with Theo Bair. He seems to be the big name.
Yeah, if we do a marquee signing, I think that's just, which we don't, that's as close to a marquee signing as we've really got. It sort of came out of, I think it had been sort of rumoured, but he was, Canada international, couple of caps. He's been at Vancouver Whitecaps, a big team in the MLS. Spent a bit of time on Norway at loan, in Norway on loan at HamKam.
Was that not David Cameron's wife?
Sam Cam.
Ah, close.
Or maybe Hamcam for that time that he boned a pig's head.
Nice. Good link. But yeah, what I heard today was, it may not be true, but apparently there was a bounce game at St Johnstone, a practice match against another team, and Saints won 3-0, and Theo Bair got all three. Just what I heard. Could be rumours. But that's promising.
That is promising. I mean, you look at it, it's exciting. It's an exciting signing. But also in the sort of clips kicking about on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that, you can't really get a proper sense, but he does look proper exciting. He's got a pedigree there. He's got international caps for a very good Canada side. You just wonder whether Agent Wotherspoon might have had a little bit of a helping hand sort of selling the club to him. Another Canadian link as well. We've had plenty of them. We've probably had more than any other club in the country.
Mika Hallberg, which we'll touch on later on, he was one of the new signings that started against Livingston. Let's just talk about him now from the Livingston game. I thought he was excellent.
He's so handsome.
Yes.
That's what we need. If we're going to go down this route of where it is basically shit or bust, whether this works or, then we might as well do it with some style.
Yeah, go handsome or go home.
Go handsome or go home. The way I see it, if you're going to build a time machine out of a car, you might as well do it with some style.
That is it.
I thought he was excellent at Livingston. For whatever reason, sort of didn't work out from at Hibs. I think there was injuries and a lot of competition for places. He's 26, so for a midfielder coming somewhere near to your prime. He's got 3 caps for Sweden. Bad players don't get caps for Sweden at the end of the day.
No.
Apart from Johan Elmander. Yeah, the proof's going to be in the pudding, but he has got a little bit of a sort of maybe the advantage he's got over some of the other signings is he's coming from the same league. So should be, even though he's been injured, he should be sort of up to speed with the pace of the league and with the style of the league, really. And he just seemed to slot in absolutely seamlessly last night.
Yeah, there was a couple of times when he got the ball and he held it up and fought off guys and sprayed it wide. He was excellent. He was really, really good. We'll probably discuss that more with the Almondview boys very, very soon. The Almondview boys.
Almond who?
More like. But we'll go to our next signing, Mika Hallberg. What do you make of him?
I'm not falling for it again.
Oh, let me press the bloody button. Right, we'll go to Tom.
Press the button.
There we go. I think we'll just let that play in the background. Some bedding music. Very nice.
You can play it all you want. But you're not going to make me look. In the words of Kelly's, you might trick me once. You're not going to trick me twice.
Remember, fool me once, shame on you. Remember it was George W. Bush that couldn't quite get that saying out right. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was impressive.
It's not my favourite George Bush moment.
What? Just what?
My favourite George Bush moment was when he gave that big speech about the terrorists. We were stopping nothing to get the terrorists, and the terrorists better beware. Now, watch this drive. And he turns out he stood on the first tee somewhere, and he just absolutely spanks one.
Our next signing on transfer deadline day was Tom Sang from Cardiff. Now, I've spoken to a friend of mine, Gareth, who is a season ticket holder with Cardiff. Apparently, he's an excellent prospect. Really good. He's been a bit injured, so he said don't judge him too harshly, but he can play right wing back and he can play centre midfield. Exactly the type of player we're looking for at the moment.
Absolutely. Again, another lad with good pedigree. We signed a few of them in this window. Started out at Manchester United. He's then played a few games for Cardiff. 22. He's probably looking to kick on. He's been on loan at Cheltenham last season, I think. So, but again, we were a bit short at right wing back. But then James Brown had an absolute peach of a game last night. So, but we're Rooney injured. O'Halloran, he's played there a little bit. He's out injured at the minute, but he's not really an ideal solution there. So, yeah, it's good competition for Brown. And also, as we say, it's good cover in the midfield. I think there seems to be a little bit of an issue with McCardiff. Not an issue with him, but it's a strange situation, a bit of a difference of opinion between manager and player. And that Steve Morrison, the Cardiff manager, sees him as a midfielder, whereas the player himself, Tom Sang, sees himself as a right wing back. And actually, I saw a few folks saying, "Oh, it's a very different, it's a bit of a strange one, that because it's completely different roles." But the actual mechanics of the game playing in those two positions isn't that different. You run, you tackle, you pass the ball, and so it should be pretty adaptable either way. I think it's just an issue of his preferred position. with Cardiff. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what he does. But it's a bit funny with fullbacks because we keep signing them and then not really playing them. Because Reece Devine never really got a fair shake of matters. And Gallagher just played at Kelty, and that's been it so far. So, and Brown's only really started getting a run at right back because Rooney and O'Halloran are injured. So we'll see. We'll see if he ever plays.
That's it. We'll see how he gets on. But he comes with a good background and he's well thought of in Cardiff. They thought he might kick on in the actual first team down there. So a good player to bring in. And Dan.
Well, he might do. He might, suppose from his perspective, he wants to be looking at Danny McNamara then, really, who wasn't getting a sniff at Millwall, had a great loan spell, great sort of 5 months on loan at Saints, and then his first pick at fullback for Millwall now. So, yeah, I suppose that'd be his intention to follow a similar path.
Absolutely right. Well put. And our last summer signing, which came on the 1st of February after the window door slammed shut and Jim White hung up his yellow tie, was Jamal Hector Ingram. Didn't know much about the guy, but again, under 23 level, he seems to have done the business. Yeah,
good name too.
Very
good name. So yeah, it's probably a good place to get out of, really, because he signed on a free, been released, but he was at Derby County, where he played a few first team games. So he's done well to get out of there at the minute because they look like they might die. Ultimately, which would be a terrible shame for a very big club. But yeah, again, don't really know an awful lot about him. Seen a few people judging him on his first team record in terms of goal scoring, which is sort of 9 games between Derby and Stevenage. The loan spell he had at Stevenage and no goals. But yeah, and he's 23, so he's young, but he's not a kid. But hopefully he'll be a decent addition to the squad. He played age group for England. I think from what I saw him saying on arrival, another one who was saying all the right things, seems a right nice lad. Seemed very excited and very willing to get stuck in. He's got a lot of competition for places. I'll give him that because he's the forward. Whether he might be seen as someone who can play out wide, I don't know. But obviously you've got Hendry, Chifchi when he's fit, Bear, Chris Kane, who seemingly just through new signings might be slipping a little bit down the order, and Stevie May, another one in the same boat, he was absolutely exceptional last night at Livy.
Yeah, he was excellent. He was all over the park and he just pressed absolutely everything. But maybe Saints might unearth a gem in him. That's the sounds I count from our last win against Dundee United at the end of October. If you include Butterfield in it, who came in, Butters, 14 players have signed. You cannot argue the fact that Steve Brown is making a fist of this.
Are you including Viv as well?
No, I will never include Viv.
No. He truly was cutting eye job. You can't argue with that. No, and I think, like I was saying last week, and this was a point I was trying to get across, it should have been more about being a bit more proactive and even preemptive in the summer. Might not have been in this mess, but you are where you are, and all you can do is try and react to it and get out of it. The other thing is, it's sort of a big point. There's now no hiding place whatsoever for Callum. There is no hiding place at all, because this is players he's brought in, it's his team, and he has been backed this transfer window. Going off what I've seen last couple of games, because Dundee was a poor game, but actually there was a lot more fight about the team. Going by that, I think there's reasons to be cheerful, but we are still in the shit a little bit.
We are, but if we lost to Livingston horrifically, there would have been a wee bit of an issue there. But it's a massive squad. Players are playing for their position. We will get to the Livingston game in a bit. But do you want to do a feature first? Will we throw in a feature now before we get to the Livy game?
Let's have a little bit of a feature.
Let's do it. How about Giorgio Boy on the Royal? It's early for Georgia Boyle and the Royal, but let's get it in now because we've got 10 minutes before we speak to the Almondview boys, and I think this will be the perfect filler in the meantime.
It's filler, but it's killer.
All filler, no kill. No, wait, no. No filler, all killer.
Yeah, all killer, no filler. That was a Sum 41 album.
Wow. But ironically, it was all filler.
Yeah. Yeah, they were never a favourite, man. Anyway.
Hi. Georgia Boyle and the Royal. Where have you seen St Johnstone players? What have they been doing? We've not got any more clarification on Jonathan Johansson being in the restaurant last week and the anything surrounding that. So we still wait to hear from Grant Fairweather, it was, I believe, wasn't it?
It was Grant, yeah. Come on, Grant.
Come on, Grant. That means you have not listened to last week's episode, and that upset Sam and Dan.
And you don't want to upset Sam and Dan because we'll break your legs. Right.
Get back, you bastard.
We won't.
I'll break your legs.
That is shit up.
Phoenix Nights reference. Right. You made a couple of Phoenix Nights reference last night when we spoke to Katie Mitchell at the theatre. She was the one that booked us for our Dogger Saints live event. So we were in speaking to her yesterday, and we'll go into more details of that at the end of the podcast. But she did come up with a Georgia Boyle on the Royal for us.
Katie Mitch did come up with a Georgia Boyle and the Royal for us, and we're very grateful to her for that because I don't really know if we had anything else. Anyway, we go again. Remember when we did a live show? That was weird.
That escalated.
Of all the things to happen in this sort of year as a result of this podcast, that was the biggest escalation. Anyway, it's a very simple one. Katie saw a friend of the show, Jim Weir. She saw him in Keese's restaurant, Perth, with what we hope was his lovely wife, Yvonne.
Okay, see, I've just realised this could be a horrible, horrible story if Yvonne hears or Bally or brother or anything
it's
like
Yvonne.
that.
It was Yvonne.
Thank God. Thank
No
God.
danger.
That's good. Keese's good. There's one in Octorada as well.
I love Keese's.
But do you know the problem is
Absolute top bagger.
the one with the one in Octorada is every time like any kind of side salad you get with it, they always put either like mango segments in or peach segments. Every salad.
Well, I think you're the bigger issue there, to be honest with you, because what are you getting a salad for?
That's a fair point. They put them on my chips.
You don't win friends with salad.
You don't. But do you know what we've got in the cupboard now, which is it's a game-changing item? Truffle dust.
You've been in Octorada too long, man.
Yeah, started a North Muirton boy. I'll always be a Perth man at heart. But yeah, truffle dust. We got some. We just puck it on everything. We stuck it in macaroni the other night. Chips, you name it. Truffle dust. Recommended it.
Where'd you get it from?
We bought a truffle pig and we dusted it ourselves. Amazon.
That sounds like a lie.
we don't own a truffle pig, no. We got it off Amazon, and it was about £8 for the wee jar. But honest to God, it is, even when you smell it, like your mouth waters if you ever had truffle anything.
Worth every penny. And now I feel there could be some elaboration on this theme and on our old Boyle from Katie Mitch, because there's questions here. Is Jim Weir the type of person that would take his own condiment, be it truffle dust, be it Henderson's relish, be it whatever, that American yellow mustard you get?
Love that. Oh, I told you about my hot dog thing the other night, where Lynn bought hot dogs, but she bought English mustard and about blooming nut on a bit of hot dog.
Nice.
Disaster.
Too strong for the job. Yeah, so on his visit to Keese's, with someone who may or may not have been Yvonne. It was Yvonne. Did Jim wheel his own sort of condiment out of his back pocket or coat pocket? This is the kind of elaborations we need that really add a little bit of pizzazz to the old Boyles.
Or did he steal any condiments or cutlery?
Oh, he might have done. And he sashayed the condiments in Keese's.
I don't know. If you know how the condiments come in Keese's, do let us know on all the usual social streams. Have you ever truffled anything? It's a new feature. What have you truffled, and is it delicious? We'll call it the Truffle Shuffle, and we'll ask a random listener every week to see what they've truffled. But that was our Georgia Boyle and the Royal, just Jim Weir and Keesa at Christmas time, which was very nice, very nice. But if you've seen a St Johnstone player, they don't have to be truffling anything or stealing cutlery. What have they been doing? Where have they been? Dan, give us some suggestions about what they should look for.
Sam, listeners, I got to tell you, I love it when you come to us, when you come and let the boys know where you've seen the Saints. Not to us with your old Boyles. You get them into us. You do it to us so hard that it makes me feel emotional with the old Boyles. So I think sometimes, your Boyles can be very straightforward, like this week's. They can be a little bit more, a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more out there, a little bit more off the wall. But they're all good. They all mean so much to us. but you might need examples. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples, as is my one. And so I was thinking this week, Sam, the Winter Olympics is starting.
Yes.
I mean, it may not be the best Olympics, but it's Olympics all the same. So I'm thinking, the Winter Olympics, I'm thinking, where could we have seen the Saints in relation to the Winter Olympics? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples because I think it's happened. I think these are out there. And have you seen it? You come and let us know. You come and let us know where you've seen these Saints at the Winter Olympics. So the first example I'm going to give you, have you ever seen former Saints manager Billy Stark having a dramatic change in career after he left Saints by ditching football to reluctantly coach a ragtag bunch of Jamaican sprinters and a pushcart driver to glorious Olympic failure in the four-man bobsled event, having a number of hilarious japes, sing-songs and heartwarming moments along the way. Rise and shine. It's living up in time. I think it happened. And if you've seen it, you come and let us know. You come and let the boys know. But I think you might need another example because that might not just be enough. Billy coaching the Jamaican bobsleigh team might just not be enough to get your juices going. And I think we need to get the juices flowing a little bit more. Because, your juice, your gravy, what's your Sunday roast without gravy? It's dry, baby. And we don't want that. So what we want? So we want a second example. I'm going to give you a second example. Here we go. Have you ever seen former Saints centre forward, Alex Funzo Ferguson? Whatever happened to him? Standing on the ski slalom slope with his big old red beak, having been drafted in to maintain the integrity of the event because of a shortage of actual red flags available due to an embarrassing date clash of the Olympics and the Communist Party of China rally. So there he was. He was just there to watch the curling. Old Funzo. But anyway, there he was, right in the meat of the action. He can't stay out of the game, baby. Anyway, there we go. Those are your examples. So if you've seen this, if you've seen anything, if you've seen anything else, you come and let the boys know. You come and let us know. And I've got to tell you how to let us know. All the usual social streams. Dogger Saints on Instagram, Dogger Saints on Twitter, DoggerSaints.com, the contact section, and the old Facey B. Don't you go yearning for the return of the poke function, right? It's dead and gone. It's gone. You can't poke your best mate's 19-year-old daughter anymore. And even when the function was available, it could only lead to bother. Don't go down that road. You go down the road of the message function, and you come and let the boys know. You let us know where you've seen these Saints. Woo! Get there.
Wow. Remember on Bebo, you used to give somebody's heart. Like you had one heart a day you could give to people. That was a feature. For our younger listeners, Bebo was the old school Facebook.
Oh, Bebo was dark. Like a subject we'll get onto in a bit. But anyway, we move on.
Before we do move on, I just want to talk about the Bebo section with the love heart. We used to give it every day. Do you know what it was like when you used to give the same girl like a love heart every day?
Play the fucking tune.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the trip to Livingston. And this is what happened.
Hendry tries the turn and plays it back to Dan Cleary, who clips across in. There's Hendry with the header! And St Johnstone find the opening goal through the head of Callum Hendry. Callum Davidson recalled the striker from his loan at Kilmarnock to try and find a goal for St Johnstone. He's done just that after 10 minutes. Livingston trying to find an equaliser. It's a lovely turn from Alan Forrest as he races into the box, pulls it back. Bruce Anderson's there, and Livingston do find the equaliser after 34 minutes. McCart finds Cleary, Middleton in ahead of Obalai and steals the ball off him. Tries to cut back, it could fall to Crawford! And has Ali Crawford just stolen all 3 points for St Johnstone in the 90th minute? They haven't won since October. The man that scored that day, Ali Crawford. And has he just done it again here in West Lothian? Or have St Johnstone just taken their first steps on the path to recovery? Ali Crawford is the hero. It finishes in West Lothian. Livingston 1, St Johnstone 2.
An absolutely tremendous win for Saints. Gets our SPFL campaign, the glorious cINCH, we are back. It gets us off and running again, which Callum desperately needed, and he looked the most relieved man in the world after the match.
Oof, did he ever? And I can't blame him. It's been, well, I mean, it goes without saying, it's been an absolutely terrible trot we've been on. And you know what? Losing's a habit. It really is. And it's a bloody bad habit.
Do you know what bad habits lead to?
To you.
Late nights drinking alone. I've got tickets for Ed Sheeran. I'm not even a big fan.
I don't like him. Anyway, we move on. We digress.
Again.
It's actually, I was thinking about this earlier. It's not ironic, but it's quite fitting that the first wins against Livingston because, yeah, that was the start of the demise, really. We played poor against St Mirren, sort of. It was international breaking now. We played poor against St Mirren and escaped with a point. But then it all went really downhill on the back of that Livingston game. The football went worse and there were some strange selections and confused performances. But yeah, last night was anything but. I thought we were very good in sort of large swathes, which I'm sure we'll come to shortly. But yeah, I mean, I say losing's a habit, but as we discovered last season, winning's a habit too. I'm not saying it's all going to definitely be rosy in the garden from here, but you have to get that first. I've been saying it for weeks. You just have to get that first win. And hopefully that turns it around. We have been for years, right? We have been quite I don't know the best way. We are a side that goes on runs either way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely mad runs either way. So yeah, with any luck, you've got to start somewhere, and a point against Dundee to break, to stop the rot. Even as I said, it wasn't particularly what we wanted or needed, and then following it up with a win. It's like tennis or darts. It only counts as a break. Sorry, if you hold serve or hold throw.
This is it, and this is what it's down to. But I've written down some bullet points about the match. Talk about the first half. I thought the pressing from the guys was incredible. May absolutely ran his arse off. Hallberg had an absolute brilliant debut for us. Obviously went off with a bit of cramp, and thought in the second half, these are the three key points I want to talk about. Before popping up with the goal, I thought Ali Crawford was a bit of a passenger, but James Brown, on the other hand, and Callum Henry gave everything they had in their locker. Yeah, I think Brown and Hendry, for me, along with Hallberg, were the absolute standouts. But everyone, barring Crawford, and to an extent Butterfield, but I'm not really sure how much of that's down to fitness, because he did really put it in for probably the first half hour. I think everyone turned up, everyone knew we're in a battle. Yeah, they totally showed it, but it needs to be like that every week. I don't know where that pressing came from, but it's absolutely desperate what we needed. And I'm going to borrow something off someone here. It was the St Johnstone fan analysis page, which is, if you're really into that stuff, it's very good sort of analytics of performances and stuff like that. It made a good point. What Cleary brought to things, along with Brown, sort of a few other players, whoever sort of drifted into that position, it was a lot more like having Jason Kerr there from last season and just being able to work the ball on the flank, particularly on the right-hand side. So, yeah, very promising. I'm trying not to get too excited or too ahead of ourselves here, but there's certainly promising signs. There's so much to do, but it was the first time last night in a long time that I thought we looked capable of doing it. Yeah, there was a lot of promise, and there was more good than bad for the first time in a very long time. Liam Gordon had to go off. We believe it might be because he had the shits. That's which might not be as bad as being an injured, but his replacement, John Mahone, I thought looks the part as well. Just an old school, old style centre back, like a Fraser Wright type. Just win the ball first, worry about anything else second. Excellent. I thought he was very good winning. He had a couple of nervy moments. Probably communication between the newer guys at the back and Xander still has a way to go, but that's natural. That comes along in time. But yeah, it was. As I said, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but there was so much promise, and just what I would say, the new lads all look really up for it and know what they're coming in. Look like they know what they're coming into. I thought that was
a really promising sign. Hendry was superb, led the line fantastically well, scored a very good header. It was a lovely little ball in from Cleary as well. And it had been good build-up play, which was nice to see, which we've not seen enough of any of. So, yeah, it was... The disappointment was that their goal came about quite easily, probably when we're on top, which is disappointing. But, look, it happens. It was a good bit of play from Alan Forrest, the bastard. And
he had a good game.
And he left... I really hate the Forrest brothers. Yeah, he left. They always seem to do something against us. Yeah, he absolutely left Cleary for dead. I think Cleary would be a little bit disappointed, but it was a good bit of play. You can't. Sometimes you just get done. And Bruce Anderson, who is a player I really like. He's a bit of a pain in the arse, but I really, really like him. I liked him when he was at Aberdeen. So that was disappointing. But the reaction was good. And I've said it for so long about how we don't react well to goals at all. Got through at half-time. Admittedly, that was a little bit of a struggle, but after half-time, I thought we were great value in the second half. A real open game, because they had the chances and so did we. But I genuinely thought there was only one side that looked like winning it. Yeah.
The crowd were brilliant to get behind Saints the whole way, to keep pushing right at the end. Middleton, you had no right to win that ball. Maybe Nobly at the back to get it in for Crawford, who I say, Crawford may not have been a standout performer in the second half, but he seems to be like a habit of being in the right place at the right time to put the ball in the net, very similar to his goal against Dundee in the Scottish Cup, in the League Cup, sorry. And he's won us so many points this season. That's like 5 points single-handedly. He's won us. There's a place in the team for him if he can do that. If he does that every week, delighted.
Yeah, sort of. He was right place, right time, and that was vital. And you know what? The role he plays, you look at a great sort of, I'm certainly not one of them, but you look at a great sort of attacking midfielders. What did they make a habit of? I mean, Paul Scholes, David Silva, all these great players. What did they make out? Just ghosting into the box and being in the right place at the right time. And we'll talk about like the great goals that those players scored and all that. They scored enough scruffy ones just by being in the box and being there for sort of knockbacks and ricochets and whatnot. And Crawford did exactly that last night. It's frustrating, I'll be honest with you, when you see a player, and I know he's not that type of player, but when you see a player who, when you are chasing points and you're in the muck, sort of maybe not giving the appearance that he's putting in. But yeah, but like you say, if he pops up in the box and gets a goal every week and he's in the right place at the right time, then brilliant. Don't really care.
And we can take nothing away from Callum Henry as well, who actually teed him up for it as well, who kind of held off the defender, knocked it back for Crawford as well, which kind of went a bit unnoticed.
I was just going to say that. I thought, obviously, we saw Middleton, brilliant work from Middleton. Great to see him doing that. Great to see him.
And this all came from a McCart diagonal.
It did come from a McCart diagonal, right? I'm going to get onto that in a minute because I feel like I can't enjoy anything in a minute. But Middleton, it was brilliant, absolutely. Because he's at such a physical disadvantage against Oblai. I mean, he's a big lump of a boy, and Glenn's only a little fella, but he did so well. And then, but I thought it just sort of bobbled about in the box when we're in the ground. But actually, watching it back on Sports Scene last night, it was a brilliant little touch from Hendry. He'll have seen Ali Crawford was there. Yeah, a very, very good goal, all told, and a vital one. It really was. And then we nearly fucked it up at the end, but maybe that's just a luck turning.
It is, hopefully. And shall we just get it right up some Livingston fans now? How about that?
I can't think of anything I'd enjoy more.
Let's join the Almondview boys for a little chat. This is the Livingston fan podcast. There's about 19 of them, but they're a good sort, and they're a similar club to us, and they love their club as much as we love St. Johnstone. So let's hand over to them to take over.
So this evening, we want to welcome our arch enemies to the show. Well, actually our best friends, the Dogger Dildos, Sam and Danny. Welcome to the show, boys. How we doing?
Hello there. Hello.
I'm delighted to be here, especially tonight, but delighted to be here always. See your handsome faces.
So how was it? Obviously, you were both there last night. You looked like you had a nice time from your insulting Twitter picture, which I appreciated. Yeah, how was it? We'll just kind of discuss the kind of the day. So let's maybe talk about the first half first, and how much you battered them for the first 10 minutes.
Jake, I need to get this out. What's the fucking deal with your middle digit, by the way?
Big, eh?
Nice.
It is massive.
Yeah, no, both of them as well.
Yeah, they're both the same, and they're both really skinny as well, which makes it even creepier.
Are you married, Povey? Have you got a bird?
Yeah. I know you play in a band. Is it bass you play?
No, it's not actually.
Does that would seem useful for that sort of activity?
I do play guitar, but I've not really played bass. But I've got weird kind of really skinny fingers. So thanks for you and all your
very lucky
your
lady as well.
Right.
I guess.
So the day started at Almondview terribly, and I'll tell you why it started terribly. Was that I got a pie, Scotch pie. It was rank rotten, really bad.
Heartburn central, eh?
Oh, geez, like sometimes they stick to the metal container. This one had actually shrunk. It was that kind of cooked, so you could get your hand around the whole metal case to pull it out because it just disintegrated into nothing. That wasn't an ideal start to proceedings, it really wasn't. But first half, thought first 15 minutes was pretty good stuff. Saints were kind of pressing. Max does not like balls getting played back to him, it turned out. Like Stevie May, like just kind of ran all over the park trying to get pressing. But what happened was the first 20 minutes, we kind of stuck to what we were trying to do, pressing, heavy pressing. And then it started to sneak in. We got the goal, and then a couple of long balls started creeping back in, and what we usually do. And then you just got back into the game because we were sinking back in old habits. You got your goal, and we seen it out to half time. You were the better team, is the way I seen it in the first half.
I think basically, from my perspective, what happened was you did the ultimately correct thing to do against St Johnstone, in particular this season, and actually just score a goal. Because that tends to sort of do for us. I think that's actually, not to give away spoilers, but I think that might be the first time we've won a game this season where the opposition have scored a goal against us, or either took the lead or been level. Because Dundee scored a goal against us, but we were 3-0 by that point.
Fair point.
So yeah, I mean, it's always a smart tactic against Saints, score a goal.
It's decent. It does help. But Alan Forrest, though, I am now more gutted that we didn't get him than before. What a performance that guy put in. It was ridiculous.
Were you one of the boo boys, though? Every time he touched it in the first 10 minutes, boo. No, you didn't choose our shitey club.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I can't deny that. Yeah, as petty as I wanted to be, I was. Yeah, I booed him wholeheartedly through the whole game. And Jason Holt, because he played for us and he did absolutely nothing wrong when he was at Saints. He got booed as well. I recognise you. Boo.
I was different in my style. I chose not to. I believe in personal free choice and all that. That's why in terms of football transfers. But anyway, I believe Forrest, and he's right. There's no need to boo him for that. However, I did realise we were quite close to the pitch, and so I did call Devlin a fucking dickhead at one point, completely unprovoked. He was just stood there, and I thought, I'm sensing my opportunity.
It could literally have been anyone at that point, and they were getting called a
it could
fucking
have been.
dickhead. Fair play.
It could have been the sort of nicest man in the world, but in that sort of proximity.
So I just want to say, when your first goal went in, I think I was sat beside Tam, and then our pal Jordan was in front of me. Literally, kind of looked at each other and went, "That was a good goal." That, like, obviously, yeah. From a Livy perspective, you can always defend better. You can always get to the ball, but in general, Hallberg took it pretty well. Really good pass out wide, and some header. Like, I mean, I don't know how. But someone made the point that that guy doesn't really score apart from if it's against Livy. Is that true? Was that you that said that one? I can't remember.
His last goal for Saints was against Livingston, just before the COVID shutdown. We scored like a 91st minute winner against you at the before the shutdown. But I remember Gary Holt was on the pitch moaning about the state of the grass and that, and then that's why we should have plastic pitches. You don't get that on this nonsense. But I seen a picture of Murray Davidson's knee today. And it was like a proper astro burn. He was only on for about 50 minutes. So there was blood pissing out his knee and everything. So,
to be fair, if anyone was going to sort of manage to do some sort of damage to himself in quarter of an hour, it's Murray Davidson.
Yeah, I think he had the same kind of Alan Forrest kind of point to prove.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's so weird. It always has been. Obviously, he's been with you guys for so long, Davidson. But he started with us. I always feel like he's ours, but he's so not. He's clearly so passionate about you boys. he was giving it laldy at the end as well. Like fair play. But it's gutting because he was one of our babies, you know.
Yeah, it was. We had him on last month or a couple of months ago now, and he was actually spoke really fondly about sort of actually playing at Livy. I think it was more just a victim of the timing and circumstance, as plenty were.
That's well put, Dan. The absolute shit show that occurred at Livingston at that time, I feel, is a fair reflection. But can I ask you a question? Obviously, you had an absolutely brilliant result at Hibs. Seeing you on the telly in your lovely grey jacket, looking very swish.
His tune coat.
My tune jacket, looking smart.
You're going out, clobber. It was a rare treat. There he is. There's the boy. Did you already think you'd 3 points and that was you were home and dry before we even turned up? Did you have that banked?
It was a weird one because I actually thought we would go out and carry on from the way we left off, to be honest, because it was so soon. I mean, me and Jake, we were still buzzing going in last night, you know, absolutely. So I thought, well, that's going to, if I'm feeling like this, maybe I was still pissed, I don't know. But if I'm feeling like this, the boys will. But you said it, you guys started off brilliant. And so going into it, I thought, yeah, we've got a chance. But it was a typical Tuesday night against the bottom of the league. I'm not surprised. Remember midweek a couple of years ago going through and you beat us 1-0 at home as well.
Kennedy,
I kind of had a feeling it might be a bit like that. So I was confident, but I'm not surprised the way it panned out.
Look, obviously we hadn't won in 12 or 13, so the start we got, I think it was because we brought in like 34 new players. I think it probably helped. So there's now competition for kind of bits all over the park. So they've kind of stepped up a bit. Callum Henry just has been playing at Killy and doing all right. But do you think you are safe out the water? If I wanted to ask this question, would you take 11th place this season if you got handed it now?
Take 10th, but no 11th. I'm scared as to what would happen to us if we finished 11th.
Yeah.
I'm petrified actually. That's what would happen to us because we just seem to crumble. I think what kind of helped last night as well is to go and answer your question myself. I was very confident going into last night because again of how well we played, and then after the game when I started sort of thinking about it, I was like, well, we played on Saturday and ran Hibs riot basically for the whole of the second half, and you guys didn't play at all. So you were going to be much more fresher. You had that extra time, you know, sort of bleed in those new players that, you know, an extra kind of couple of days that you've picked up. So it was like, yeah, to be honest, we didn't look fresh at all. We were playing a left back, Penrice. Personally, I've said this a couple of times. I don't think he even should have been on the park last night. He looked, because he's literally just come back from an injury. He didn't look his sort of usual self kind of thing. So I don't think we were. We were definitely not 100%, whereas you guys certainly were.
It was weird because there was a couple of bits in the second half that kind of surprised us because Liam Gordon went off. We thought it was an injury, but it turned out he might just have had the shits, which we heard today, yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think he had a bit of it.
He heard Newbley was about to come on and shat himself.
That's what it was. Literally shat himself.
He had one of those pies.
That's what it was.
Just to comment on the Scotch pie thing, I had one last night and it was nice. We must be sending all the shite over at your end.
Definitely a reheat job. I'm not having that. Usually things like that's good. When you go to a restaurant and get triple cooked chips, that's a good thing. But when you go to like a chip van and get triple cooked chips, that is not a good thing. You know they've been in there for about 2 months. You don't want that. But the guy we brought on, John Mahone, Irish boy, Rangers and Celtic were looking at him a couple of years ago, was brilliant. His first touch almost put May through on goal. He was a positive for us in the second half. There wasn't many, but you had the better of the second half. Like I said, you hit the post in the last minute as well, but it seems to be just maybe our luck is changing slightly.
I've got a wee question about, I was really quite surprised because I didn't really know much about like St Johnstone's fan base apart from you two. And then my old neighbour that supports St Johnstone, I quite liked them just because she used to tell me about them. But that was it. And we were went for a pint just in the stadium bar before, and we just sat in, and these two boys come in, and genuinely, I swear to God, I thought Livy had invited the scouts like in for free tickets. I'm not even taking the piss, right? And it was two boys, Stone Island all the way down, and these kind of little scarf things. I'm like, genuinely, we invited the scouts for free, and I didn't realise that's like your young team.
Aye, they've kind of appeared.
Is that a regular thing?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. They got a name like
The Fair City Unity, FCU.
that.
Yeah.
Quality.
So they were around about 3 or 4 years ago, causing an absolute ruckus. But they used to get to keep all their flags and stuff at the ground. But what they were doing was arranging fights with away fans. So Saints basically had to wash their... Yeah, no idea. So Saints basically had to wash their hands of them and say, we can't be involved with you. But they kind of pleaded again. So they kind of brought them back at the start of this season. Kind of started from the Galatasaray game in Europe because they obviously we missed the whole thing last season. But yeah, home and away, they'll come out in their numbers. But it's good, apart from Middleton got booked last night for inciting a riot, which was quite funny at the goal.
Did he actually?
He got booked because when Crawford scored, he ran over and stood in front of them and they all kind of piled on the pitch. Not to the level Aberdeen did at the start of the season, but celebrity Saints fans have kind of came out of the woodwork since we started being pretty good. Like Sheer Cosgrove was at the game last night. I seen him. The one Marvin Bartley's corrupted, Ellie Barber. She's... I wonder if she was there last night.
Man.
Yeah, I watching Big Marv on the touchline. The lassie that runs Scottish women's football, the CEO there, Aileen Campbell. She's a Saints fan. The guy from Paisley, the MP for Paisley for SNP, he's a Saints fan. It's mad. They're just coming out of absolutely. It's always been like, who do you support? St Johnstone. But now it's kind of more happy to admit that now.
Oh, lovely Joe Wilson, friend of the show.
Joe Wilson on Sky Sports News, friend of the show. Yeah.
And that's it. They all want a nibble of the doggers. That's
that is it.
They all come out now.
Do you know how difficult it is to text these beautiful women and tell them that it's about dogging and Dogger Saints? You have to do a lot of explaining before you even get started. That's the problem. Look.
Just a disclaimer at the top of every message. It's the name of the pub. It's the name of the pub.
Which a few of you have been to. I say a few of you. 1 and 2 of you in this group, certainly. And it's a fine pub nonetheless.
A lovely pint. Lovely pint.
We pretty much exactly the same time started, didn't we? Almondview, and pretty much happy first birthday to you, James.
About the same time,
happy birthday, boys.
Happy birthday, boys.
Thank you very much.
A belated one to you as well, boys.
We loved your lovely...
I'm not wishing anybody a happy birthday. Fuck yous.
Well, that's not very festive, Owen.
Is it December already? Fuck.
No, it's Groundhog Day.
The missus a Christmas present.
So I've been pressing that button all day. It's Groundhog Day today. Have you seen the film Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
I've actually never seen it.
What?
I know the
premise.
I know the premise.
Who hasn't seen Groundhog Day?
I know the
And
premise.
then this cunt fucking that's an instant copyright strike.
Also, we do have a competition called Dogger Saints Mystery Voice. And I'll give a clue out as well. I'll put this out. This could be this week's clue. He's played for Livingston. Do you know? Did I tell you who it is? If you guys don't announce it. So I'll play the clip.
Hi, and I'm the Dogger Saints Mystery Voice.
Ooh. Ex-Livy player.
Can you give me that one more time?
Yeah,
give me
one
that
more
time, baby.
Hi, and I'm the Dogger Saints Mystery Voice.
It's a funny accent, like, and I'm the Dogger Saints Mystery Voice.
He might have put that on slightly,
I
but
do recognise it. It's maybe Dave Mackay, maybe?
that is this week's clue. He's played for Livingston.
No, it's not Dave Mackay then.
Could be. I had a Livingston question.
I go for it.
Go for it.
It's not that serious, but is your crowd usually that poor? Yeah, is that a thing, is it?
Yeah.
No comment.
Tuesday night against the side that's bottom of the league. Because everyone can just watch it at home now, really.
It did feel a wee bit like more sparse. But yeah, for a Tuesday night, not that big a surprise. But yeah, it's not great, but it's what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not slagging it at all. Like it's not at all, but
I
it's
totally get it is. It's unbelievable, like, and it's bizarre for us. We can't do anything about it. I mean, we bring as many folk as we can.
See, you've not calmed down for last night, Povey.
Can I just ask you guys a question then? And this is genuinely about a player that played last night. When did Callum Henry become a submarine? From like minute one, he's how. I mean, well, also on another side, what did you think of the referee performance?
I don't think he was. I don't think he was strong for either, but because he was getting absolute dog's abuse from our end for decisions. So I'd imagine it would have been twice as bad for you guys. There's a lot of soft tackles going in that were Callum Davison Callum Davis and Callum Henry wins free kicks. That's what Chris Kane used to do. Get touch, go down, win a free kick, and off set pieces would do all right. Playing the modern game, I think, is how you'd handle it. I could see why that would be extremely frustrating for an opposing team. Is the best way I could be politically correct with that.
It's very diplomatic.
I keep saying this to the guys, but see the thing that annoyed me the most, we brought on this big Chuck guy. Comes on, he's meant to be pacey. He's on loan from Aston Villa, ripping it up in the under-23s. He spent the first half of the season at Northampton Town, just absolutely ripping it up. And he got beat for pace by Stevie May.
Yeah.
Like from box to box. Like Stevie May ran from box to box and outpaced a guy who's like at least 14 years younger than him.
Stevie May's got that in him. He's got it in him, and
Really?
he kind of showed it. He's not the player he was, which was a kind of upfront target man. He now has to do a lot of the running around now. He's a different player. He shouldn't be. He's our highest earner by a country mile as well still, and he's still got another year in his contract. But to see him get back to that position, basically left back to kind of cover somebody else, run past about 5 or 6 Saints guys, get the ball, kind of showed why we did okay and we kind of got a few breaks. But I was reading reports on BBC News, I've seen it today, they're saying that Livingston were robbed, Saints are nowhere near where they should be, we stole the win. I thought that was generally pretty unfair. I thought the result, we obviously snatched the goal at the end, but it was fairly fair game. But to say a team stole it one way or the other, I thought was pretty unjust, I feel.
Yeah, I think over the 90 minutes, I think both teams had probably equal amounts of the game for me. So I think first 20 minutes, 25 minutes were probably for yous until your kind of press dropped off a little bit. We had the best at the end of the second half. We had the best of end of the first half. We had the best of the start of the second half, and then we dropped off. And yous were the better team for the last probably 25 minutes of the second half. So I think over the whole, it was pretty even. I think a draw wouldn't have been awful either way, but wasn't it to be for us?
There's a lot.
Definitely a cliche game for me. Like just like so. See if we'd scored at the end instead of you guys, they would have said St Johnstone. I think they would have said St Johnstone had been right. It was definitely I had 1-1 or 0-0 essentially from the beginning, kind of written all over it, and So I think if we'd scored, then it would have been like Livingston have broken the hearts of St Johnstone. They've kind of undeservedly scored a goal right at the end. It was always going to be if someone had scored that, that total cliche.
I'll agree that if Devlin's had gone in 2-2, fair enough, everyone would have been happy.
But yeah, because of just basically I have some sort of inability to hold on to a lead. And we don't get a lead very often. So yeah, so that was that.
Like a dog walker with no hands, Dan.
Yes, exactly, mate.
So 10th, nothing worse than 10th. Will Martindale stay if you go down?
Yeah. Martindale won't leave unless he's pushed out the club, and he's not going to get pushed out the club because essentially he owns the club.
Big Marvin, though, surely he's got to be next in line for the throne, surely.
Oh, definitely,
yeah. Well, I mean, that was where we kind of saw it as like as the goal. That was the whole thing why he pretty much came to Livingston, because he was always going to go into coaching. I didn't think we expected it to be so quickly, and then obviously we heard there was like rumours of him going to Ayr and stuff in January, and just last month. So we're quite glad that didn't happen. But I think we've all kind of openly said that we would quite like him to be the manager, and we kind of quite like Dave Martindale to stay at the club, just kind of go upstairs. But it is difficult, and you do hear things that he's still so involved. He's still kind of a wee bit of a one-man band. What he says goes at the end of the day. Like, I mean, would you argue with Martindale? Absolutely fucking not. So, I mean, that I think, personally, I would quite like to see something different anyway, but I mean, in fairness, he has changed the style of play a bit better this year. Especially, I mean, last night we played out from the back a lot more, but your guys' press was brilliant. I mean, apart from Omiyonga and Holt, they've been so solid, like through the whole, like for the last like 9 or 10 games, and you just made them have an absolute wobbly last night. That Obalai was just, I don't know what he was doing last night. He was
What a monster of a man.
He's big, eh? He's big.
Wow. Even is Pittman your number 5?
No, he's number 8.
No, that's Fitzwater.
Fitzwater. He's another unit.
Water.
Yeah. Well, he's meant to be potentially. There was a rumor of him going to Newcastle for £1 million and all this stuff. That was the transfer news. It was funny then because everyone last night was just like, I think we'll just take that £1 million now, please, and you got the note. He was the both of them. You really had them on the ropes last night for sure.
I was going to just fire right back at you. Callum Davidson, obviously, what he achieved last year, it's hard to even talk about him leaving. But if he's a relegation candidates, if you go down, what's the crack? Would you stick with him? Would you not? Or I don't know. What do you think?
He's going nowhere now. Absolutely nowhere, regardless, because he's brought in so many boys. Like I said, we clocked it at 14 or 15 players that have came in since the start of December, which is a ridiculous total. Whether that be in players we've bought, loan signings coming back in, or loan signings made permanent. 15 boys, which is frightening. So they've backed him, and they can't ask for any more than that. Usually our squad is absolutely threadbare all the time, but now I think all the players realise that they've got cover for every single position. So now they're playing out their skins to keep that spot, and I think that's shown last night.
Yeah, no, I agree with Sam. I mean, it's a weird situation actually, because I was saying earlier on the podcast, he's sort of now not got any excuse, because he has been backed, albeit I think a little bit belatedly, but he has been. He's been backed. It's his squad now. It's the players he's obviously wanted. Give a final sign off on. So there's sort of no excuse for if it does go sort of tits up and we go down. He's sort of got no excuse, but at the same time, I also, even if we do go down, he's not going to be. He might go off, but if he does go, it's going to be off his own accord.
Martindale, yeah.
He won't be. Brown won't sack him. No chance.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I reckon that's probably the vibe. I spoke to a couple of St Johnstone fans outside the Lions Den, at the Lions Den, sorry, and they were saying, don't even care if we go down, it was worth it for last season sort of vibe. Obviously, like, that was me talking about the worst case scenario, like how would you feel if you went down? But I, judging by speaking to you guys tonight and the couple of boys I spoke to last night, I think you are all pretty confident that you can do it, even if you finish in that playoff,
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I don't think we're going to finish bottom. And I probably haven't sort of since it looked like we were going to actually do something in January, because the squad is now better than Dundee's. And also, we have been on an absolutely horrendous run. I mean, dreadful. One win since October. In terms of just league games, it's gone draw, 8 defeats, draw, win, and we're off the bottom of the table. And given we weren't in that good a position at the start of the run, that is mental. And so it probably just proves that Dundee really aren't much cop either.
Yeah, I can't really add much more to that. Dundee are pish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can most certainly agree with you on that.
Yeah. Fuck Dundee.
Well, I will say
though,
though, see if you continue to play like that for the rest of the season, or even just like for the next even 5 or 6 games, that you'll be safe.
Well, where the worry came from last season is we had the same kind of form. We were bottom of the table at Christmas, but we were playing good football and just not winning games. This first half of this season was we were losing games, but we were playing pish, so we couldn't see a way out. So I think that's why they had to make wholesale changes, because, like I said, it's age and Murray Davidson, Liam Craig Bryson, like combined age of about 90. So no more than that, it'll be about 100, won't it? Genuinely.
About 100 now.
Yeah, 35, 34, 33 or something like that. It's like 2 age in midfield. We lose our 2 best players on transfer deadline day, in McCann and Kerr. Sorry, my wife's just decided to come in and make a cup of tea. You all right there, love? You okay?
I'm desperate for a cuppa.
Outrageous.
Come
and say hi.
Again.
No, there's just me and Dan.
We're your biggest fans. Woo.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
there she is.
I'm just getting a wee cup of tea. I'll be over here in a minute.
Goodness sake.
Might get
A
wee
low
biscuit.
red Lana Wolf.
I was going to make a bit of toast, but I thought that's taking it too far.
I think it is taking it too far, I feel.
No, that's taking a piss, mate.
That's not a new statement, and I'm really glad Sam's got the headphones on and she couldn't hear that.
I love you.
I think it went
Bye.
over a few people's heads. I think it went over a few people's heads.
That'll be one that I didn't hear what you said, so I'll be chuckling along to that later on.
I repeat, it was a low rent Lana Wolf.
So, it's been described before, yeah. That's came out the bag, yeah. When you order Lana Wolf off Wish was another phrase I heard. Which is probably should be offended by that, but what I can say about Livingston is we wish you all the very best for this season. We genuinely mean that, because you're very similar club to us. We're ranked along with you by Hibs and Aberdeen and Dundee United. All think they're massive clubs. St Johnstone, Livingston, we're all in the same boat here, and other teams don't like it. Simple as that.
Fucking brilliant, isn't
Great,
it?
yeah. Love it.
Get it right
Like,
up them.
I mean, like, I cannot imagine being a supporter of like Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, Hibs now. Like, it'd be no fun.
Absolutely no fun. The roller coaster, that's what it's all about.
Exactly. And we'll see you on the 2nd of April. See, when I go into work tomorrow morning, I'm putting in a holiday request. Coming up to Perth. I'm getting fucking steaming.
Yes. Come to the Dogger. It's a place to be.
And a 2-2 draw, which secures both of us away from the relegation zone. And then we can go our separate ways after that.
I would love it if it came down to we just needed a point each to get out the bottom two, and we just played out a 0-0. Brilliant.
I'd love it. I just had a massive party together.
Can you imagine though being absolutely steaming at a nil, like the most boring 0-0 game that you?
Well, we'd all have to take turns to go outside to set up the wee trestle, to man the trestle table to sell our Almondview Dogger Saints half and half scarves that we'll be producing.
Yeah.
I'm
liking this idea.
Yeah.
I'm liking this idea.
I will not be at that game on the fucking 2nd. That's gutted. But they've got weddings all weekend.
What have we got that day, Dan? Is that Pete Loaf night?
What?
Eat loaf.
Is it Pete Loaf?
Pete Loaf night, yeah. It's proper Phoenix Night stuff. In the clubby that night, there's a Meatloaf tribute act called Pete Loaf.
You are fucking joking.
Quality.
Get me tickets. I'm fucking there.
Chaps, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for chatting to us.
Thank you.
Cheers, lads.
See you later.
Catch you later, chaps.
Well done yesterday as well. As much as it hurts, I'm happy.
Oh, thanks, man. Get it up, you. Bye.
Flonix offers flexible IT support, professional IT project delivery, and expert IT advice. Our head office is based in Perth, but with offices in Edinburgh, Manchester, and London, we service most areas within the UK. We can support any size of company, and we excel in delivering fast, reliable, and accountable service to our clients. We take a flexible approach to IT, which is determined by our clients' business needs. We can operate as the client's IT department or add to an existing IT resource within the company. Our people are highly trained professionals who have the expertise to access, repair and maintain any PC, server, network or Apple Mac system. Check out flonix.co.uk for all the details.
Well, that was a pleasant chat with them, aren't they? They're actually a decent bunch of football fans, well, the majority of them.
I can take them or leave them.
But no, we really appreciate
Good football, man.
They are good football men. Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed being on with them. But we'll put that to bed. It's 3 points banked. We'll move on. We go again.
Hashtag we go again.
Let's do a competition. Let's speak to more people. It's our birthday and we'll speak to people if we want to. Let's do Wendy Who.
Wendy Who, yeah. Wendy Who, yeah. Who's it gonna be? Wendy Who, yeah. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
It's Wendy Who. It's our mystery voice competition. We've got a St Johnstone player. Mystery voice. You don't know who he is. Me and Dan do. If you want to come on and have a guess as to who you think it might be, you could be the proprietor of a Dogger Saints prize bundle. And what a bundle it is, Dan.
A big time bundle, Sam. Big time. We got it all going off. There's lots of stuff. When you win it, you can find out.
You can do. We're actually gonna produce a limited edition Shelley Care t-shirt, a one-off limited edition. This is going in the bundle. Decided that right this second.
Well, we say one off. There's going to be 3 of them because we're going to want one each. But other than that,
of course there. Yeah, and if there's a bigger enough demand, we'll probably print them more. But a 6 Sips with Shelley Care t-shirt is going into the prize bundle.
Once again, must stress this. It's not to be confused with bungle.
Certainly not. It's not a prize bungle. You are winning. But this is the clip.
Hi, and I'm the Dogger Saints mystery voice.
Who is it? Who could it possibly be? We've had some guesses. We've had Dougie Barron. It's not Dougie Barron.
Certainly not.
It's not Roddy Grant.
Not on your Nelly.
Philip Fizzy Scott. Forget about it.
Well, Fizzy Who? Hi, Fizzy. Yeah, mate. Sorry.
And Mark Trainer, who was the one we accidentally gave away, is not him either. Yeah, we've got a couple of listeners lined up tonight. Why not?
Exactly. It's a big birthday bash, and we want everyone to be invited.
It is. And this week's first caller is a name that might be familiar if you're a long-term listener, or go to McDermott regularly and see a big beagle called Brogan. It's friend of the show, it's Jason Blythe. How you doing, mate? You okay?
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Very well, Jason. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not too bad.
Thanks for joining us. Brogan himself, he's back. Friend of the show, Jason Blythe, is on to have a go at Wendy Who.
Yeah, amazing theme tune, by the way. What can I say? Probably one of the best ones I've ever heard.
Well, I would say, we need some more theme tunes. One for Lynn's Diary, which we're not going to do this week because Saints played okay, so we've got plenty to talk about. Yeah, we'll probably need a theme tune for Lynn's Diary.
I was about to message you to see if you want a Lynn's Diary. I've already got one prepared.
Mate.
What a guy. But to be fair, you have been randomly selected. We've not pulled you out the bag to pull favours. I must admit that now. You were the very first person, I think, to come in with an entry or a guess, I think. Are you still sticking with your original suggestion, or are you thinking about changing?
I'm still sticking.
I will play the clip one more time for you, Jason.
Hi, and I'm the Dogger Saints mystery voice.
Jason Blythe, Mr. Blythe, if you're one of his pupils. Who is Wendy?
I think Wendy is Simon Thomas Donnelly.
He would tick all the boxes. He has played for Saints. Well, that was a good start, but he's never been a guest. That was a clue. Are you correct? Am I going to hit the right button? Let's find out. It's not. It is not Simon Donnelly, but a great guess and one we will add to the list. We will give a clue at the end of this episode, but we're going to have someone else lined up in the not too distant future, as in about 5 minutes' time. But Jason, it's a pleasure, as always, to have you on. For listeners that are new to the podcast, Jason does all our jingles. The Wendy Who, when you heard at the start, Club Shop of Shame, you name it, he's got a jingle for it. And we thank him wholeheartedly for his efforts. But you're not getting a Bournemouth AFC dog poo bag holder, I'm afraid.
Are you sure it's not him?
To be fair, I can press the button again. But it might be. The guy who we did get on could have absolutely pulled a blinder out the bag and put Simon Donnelly on. So we can't actually confirm it's not, but we're pretty sure it's not Simon Donnelly, I'm afraid. But thanks for checking, though.
Oh, that's annoying because Simon Donnelly's 47 and so's Alanis Morissette. And I was listening to Alanis Morissette this morning in the radio, and I thought that's got to be a sign. And then lo and behold, you get in touch. So never mind.
How does your mind work? How did you end up getting to that point? From that point.
Well, I know Simon Donnelly's 47, and then
so is Alanis Morissette.
And the only other 47-year-old I know is Alanis Morissette. I don't know her, but I thought, wow, what are the chances? What are the chances? And the song was ironic. It came on, and I thought this has got to be a sign. And then, never mind.
And that's Lynn's favourite album, Jagged Little Pill.
Oh my word, it's meant to be.
It's a tick in the box all round. She'd be delighted that was how you came to the conclusion that it was Simon Donnelly, because she's the same.
And it's the dog barking has got 5 syllables, and I thought there can't be many Saints players that have got 5 syllables in their name.
Yep. You're right, but unfortunately, it is not Simon Donnelly. My apologies wholeheartedly, but we thank you with all our heart that you've came on for a go.
Yeah, whatever.
Jason, as a teacher, you're a teacher, your working out was unbelievable. Just the answer wasn't there.
Oh, right. Oh, I see. Oh, well, that's good to know. Never mind.
My big red pen is out. Must try harder.
I will. I will try harder next time. Oh, I'm so... anyway, good luck to whoever gets it. But I'm pretty sure my answer is correct, and you've just changed the answer. But okay, whatever.
We're going to be scrambling around after this phone call to try and find somebody that sounds like that to prove that it's not Simon Donnelly. But
you're probably going to Fiverr and just find a Simon Donnelly sound alike and going, oh yeah, we'll get him for the Wendy Who, but I'm just joking.
It's been an absolute pleasure as always, Jason, and we will see you waving your big furry hands at McDermott on Saturday.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
Thanks again, Jason. Cheers, man.
Saturday, okay.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Thanks, Jace. See you, pal.
Bye. Shall we get somebody else on?
Why not?
Bugger it. Let's do it. Let's get somebody else on right now. David, how you doing, bud?
How are you? Nice to hear from you.
Thanks for coming to join us. Whereabouts in the world are you? You in Perth?
No, I'm in Aberdour in Fife, actually.
Oh, wow. That's okay.
So-
We'll accept anybody from anywhere in the world. You've been toing and froing with guesses for a little while. How you think you've got the right answer now?
I'm as confident as I can be. I actually thought Dougie Barron was one of my earlier guesses as well, so I'm glad that one of your previous listeners got that one out of the way.
Good.
And then I was leaning towards Kieran McInespy, and then when you said it hadn't been a previous guest, that one fell away. So I think I've got a solid guess. I'm confident, maybe not, but solid.
A solid guess is all we ask for. I'll tell you one more. We just had another listener on where we had a double barrel tonight. The previous guess was Simon Donnelly, and that was incorrect. Was that who you were thinking?
It was not.
That's fine then, because that would have been a bit awkward. But I'll play the clip one more time. I'll play the clip one more time for you, David.
Hi, I'm and I'm the Dogger Saints mystery voice.
David, not Duncan, of Aberdour and Fife. Who do you think is Wendy?
I think it's Alan Main.
Well, that will tick all the boxes. 90s player, never been a guest in the show. Very solid guess, Dan.
It's a great guess.
Should we hit the button and find out?
With attention.
I know. And I've actually found the right. I've actually labelled the button tonight so I don't hit something ridiculous. So here we go. Let's find out. It's not Alan Main, but a great shout nonetheless. You're not out of the competition yet. Your name goes straight back into the hat, so you could easily get another phone call next week when we draw a name out. How did you get to Alan Main?
Well, 90s, obviously. I mean, he must be the most capped Saint of the 90s. I figured that was one of your clues. You said the streets. I was struggling with that one. Unless there's been some lone player called Mike Skinner I've never heard of. I was toiling a bit there, but I thought main streets. So that was my thinking there. And then what was it? Oh, yeah, hasn't been a guest. Definitely hasn't. But I was thinking maybe you're going to get somebody who you'd like to have on as a guest at some point in the future. And I figure Alan Main would be a good category for that. So that was kind of how I came to that. Yes.
Very well educated, but I'll be honest with you. When we kind of gave the streets clue out, it's very tedious. It's a tedious link to go onto, and when the players announce, you'll go, "That is ridiculous." And if anybody got us off that streets clue, you'd be doing very well. But we will give more clues out straight after this phone call. So if you tune in and listen, you'll have maybe a better idea. But we can add Simon Thomas Donnelly, who our previous caller was still convinced it was him, even when we told him it wasn't. But you've taken it's not Alan Main with a bit more grace, so we do appreciate that, David.
It's only a game.
It is indeed, but we really appreciate you listening and coming on, David. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, mate. Thank you very much.
No, cheers, guys.
Thanks again, David. Cheers, mate.
Thanks,
Bye
David.
now.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, bye-bye. Well done. Another two guesses. Two incorrect guesses, I should say.
It narrows the field down.
It does indeed. This is... People going about Wordle being the game taking over the world. I disagree. It's Wendy Who.
We can confirm that we received an offer this week, similar to Wordle being taken over by the New York Times. We received an offer from the Washington Post, a sum which would have made us moderately rich dudes. But we turned it down.
Let's move on. No, before we move on, we'll give a clue. Should we give a clue out? Another one?
Yes.
Listen, we won't try and make it subtle like the streets one, because for eagle-eyed people, we did put a subtle streets-based clue in there, which, when you find out who the player is, it's ridiculously tedious, but brilliant at the same time.
God, it's so tedious.
But this week's clue, I'm going to give you a place of birth and a decade he was born in. How about that?
Woof, are we being too generous here, Sam?
I think so, but that's the type of people we are. It's our birthday. The clue is, he was born in Edinburgh in the 70s.
There we go. The clues are coming together.
Who could it be? I know.
I know.
If you think you know, get in touch. All the usual social streams. Twitter, doggersaints.com, the contact section. This is your bit. I quite like doing this bit. And the old Facey B. Stop.
You missed off Instagram.
Oh, yeah, that's our most popular social stream.
But I'll forgive you for it.
Thanks. I don't have a Facebook example of what you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, I've got a belter plan for later.
Let's go straight into it.
What's the shop? Club shop of shame. What's the shop? Club shop of shame. What's the shop? Club shop of shame. What's the shop? Shame.
Right, it's the club shop of shame. What moderately crap merchandise have you seen out and about? And we've not done giving the Livingston boys quite enough abuse yet. We were at the ground and we seen a sponsorship advertising board for Foco and thought, I remember these guys. We used to absolutely slaughter them for being absolutely rubbish. So we had a look at their Livingston section and we have came up with a beauty. Dan.
Yeah, we took the 3 points. We invited your podcasters on our show to mock the fact we took the 3 points, but we're not done there. We're going to take your dignity via Foco. So, Sam.
Daniel.
So we've been doing this podcast a year now. And one of the big momentous occasions in that year that we sort of covered was involved Livingston. It's not Effie Ambrose's performance against them at McDavid in November. No. What it is, what I'm thinking of was the League Cup final.
Yes, a momentous day.
Back nearly a year ago, mate. A year ago this month. What a day. What a day. And we beat Livy. We scuttled them. Gave them a hammering by 1-0. Anyway, now you know what else has happened in this year?
A second and third COVID variant?
Well, quite. Yeah. We had the Alpha, we had the Delta, and we had the Omicron.
Numerous work meetings / parties.
Numerous work meetings / parties, yeah. Zoom quizzes were still a thing at the start of this.
But I think everyone was fucked off by that point.
Yeah. I think the Delta and the Omicron were probably more preferable to Zoom quizzes in the end. Anyway, no, Sam. There was a second cup, the Scottish Cup, when we gave the Hibernians of Leith an absolute hammering by 1-0. Anyway, fucking played them off the park as well that day. Yeah. Anyway, so 2 cups. Sam, I'm going to present to you 2 more cups.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Listeners, 2 more cups for you. We've had the League Cup, we've had the Scottish Cup, and now we have got the Livingston FC 2-pack paint splatter egg cup.
Egg cups are useful.
They are. But, Christ alive, Foco, what are you doing to us?
Paint splattered Livingston egg cups.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, they're egg cups, and they're sort of a very low-rent version of Jackson Pollock paintings on them. They're a splattering, but it's more just like dots and Livingston badges on them. But I'm going to go on the description.
Everyone's favourite. Yep, you're right.
We've not had a good description in a few weeks.
Correct.
Right? They've been very functional. You know what they say. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Rhymes and everything. Make it even more important with a side of club pride. Fucking love a rhyme to Foco. Thanks to this Livingston FC 2-pack paint splatter egg cup. Now, there's not a lot of information in there. I will admit, there's not functionality is not covered.
Is that egg cups or egg cup? Did you just say that? Does it say egg cups?
Well, now this is the thing with Foco. They've gone very enthusiastic in the description, very rhythmical. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of technical. There's as technical as you can get with an egg cup. There's not a lot of technical information in there, and also it's grammatical bollocks. I've not had a grammatical bollocks description in a while. We had a good run of them. So, because it's not an egg cup. It's cups, plural.
It's like not like 1 sheep, 2 sheep. 1 egg cup, 2 egg cup.
Maybe that's what they're going with, the old 1 sheep, 2 sheep method. But they've got it wrong, and I hate to say it to the good people at Foco. Anyway, right. There's not a lot more I can say about this. It is tat.
Is there reviews?
Absolutely no. So, but that doesn't mean they're not popular. It's not like with Celtic and Rangers where they'd write a review on anything just to, try and display some weird fucking superiority. I think Livingston fans could buy the egg cups or 2 egg cup without making a big song and dance about it. So I'm not going to read too much into that. Yeah, basically this is where we are. The Livingston egg cups. I'm not really sure how much further we can go with this. But in terms of absolute pointless nonsense, Hey, this is a belter.
Oh, it's up there. It is up there, no shadow of a doubt. But I like the description of it, displaying club pride. There's nothing suggests displaying club pride like having two egg, if you want, in your 2-egg cup.
I can't think of a better way to support your club. Now, I've heard many things in the past couple of weeks about how to support your club from Saints fans.
Did anybody bring up having eggs?
We had pizza, standing about getting, mooching pizza off players. That was seen as a very popular method of supporting your club. We've had there's been a lot of shit said. I'll be honest with you, but in a situation where nobody's right and nobody's wrong. But that's what I thought. I thought nobody was right and nobody was wrong. But it turns out me, your old dad, Danny Williams, I was the one who was wrong. Because it turns out the correct way to support your club is with egg cups or 2-egg cup.
What's the let's go straight to price. Tell me what the price. I'm looking at 4 beach style 4-egg cup set. 4-egg cup set. I've yet to see the word egg cups anywhere. That could be. No, there it is. 4 white plastic egg cups, set of 4. Right. How much is the 2-egg cup at Livingston going to cost me?
Well, you tell me yours first, Sam.
I can get 4 white plastic egg cups for £3.77.
That's a hell of a deal. That's less than £1 an egg cup.
Good man.
So, Sam, listeners, if you are so inclined to display your club pride for Livingston FC via the good people at Foco, buy the medium of a 2-pack paint splatter egg cup. You can do so for £12.
That's £6 an egg cup.
It's not exactly breaking the bank, but there's, as the kids would say, there's levels here.
There is levels.
Levels.
So it's £6 per egg cups. I'm gonna turn the singular into a plural just to really mess with everybody's minds. £6 per egg cups.
But Sam, what you got to think about? What we've not considered here is your 4 for £3.75. That's 4. That's double the amount. So actually, you're about, if you want 4, if you're a hungry individual and you need 4 egg cups,
4 egg cups,
then you 20 quid more for the Livingston / Foco mashup.
Do you know the problem with my egg cups though? I'm not displaying any club pride, and that's what you're paying for, my friend.
Well, that is that worth the extra £20?
Absolutely not. Let's move on. No. If you've ever seen any club tat anywhere, please let us know. Here is my good friend Daniel Williams on his first birthday, telling us all about what to look out for. Danny.
Thank you for joining us on our birthday. And I'm going to give you a little present myself because what I want to... Well, no, actually, I'm going to encourage you to give us a present. I want to know, I'm aching to know, I'm yearning to know what tat you have seen and how we feel it could gain entry to the Club Shop of Shame. But you need a little example, and this is my little gift to you. So, because I've been thinking, Sam, so I've noticed, you see it all over, the social medias, and we'll run through them in a minute. But you see what's very popular these days. You see it on, you see it on Twitter and Facebook and all that. People walking up hills, Munros, if you will, Munro bagging.
People love that nonsense now. As soon as you hit 40, bang, bouncing up hills.
That's it. People are enjoying it, and it's become a thing. It's become like a nice outdoor activity in the COVID times that people do. I think I'd rather shit the bed and roll around in it, but that's just me. That's just me. I play golf, so I have no room to talk. Anyway, but you can't go through. You can't go on some girl's Tinder profile without being up a hill at the minute. You get the two things, don't you? Up a hill, and then you go and read the description. Not that you fucking know. But you go in and you read the description. Here for a good time, not a long time.
Oh, right? Wow. I've been told that girls on Twitter though, if they've got that filter with the dog face, just instantly get rid of them.
We're not Keith Lard, are we?
Bit of a dog.
He's drawing a dog. Anyway, back to the point. So people are going walking. So I'm thinking, how can I marry up this activity, this outdoor activity, to the football? You've guessed it, Sam. You've guessed it, listeners. You know where I'm going with this. I know where I'm going with this. So I'd like to present to you, and I'm going to put it in handy reading compendium form because everyone's just piled up with books they got for Christmas that they've not read yet. and I've presently decorated. So I'm thinking a book. You know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. Yes, you guessed it. If you've ever seen Scotland's Finest Walks, a book, Scotland's Finest Walks, with walking enthusiast Ali Crawford, then you come and let the boys know. You come and let us know. You come and tell us. And I've got a little blurb. I've got a little blurb here. From Tynecastle to Tannadice. This is Ali's words, you know. From Tynecastle to Tannadice. Pittodrie to Parkhead. I have enjoyed a leisurely stroll around many of Scotland's most picturesque football pitches, finding personal serenity amongst the hustle and bustle surrounding me. There's no better feeling than taking 90 minutes to yourself once or twice a week to find a bit of space to yourself for a relaxing stretch of the legs, ambling defiantly in the face of pace. So come join me. So come join me for a saunter around the finest turf, both grass and artificial, Scottish football has to offer. XOXO Ali. He wants to go walking. He wants you to join him, or at least read about it. So you gotta let me know if you have seen this handy compendium, and you know how to let us know. Because I'm making them yearning to know. It's going me deep inside. And you know how to let us know. All the usual social streams. You come and let the boys know. Dogger Saints on Instagram. Dogger Saints on Twitter. DoggerSaints.com, the contact section. And the old Facey B. Don't you go firing off a friend request to your fit teacher from your school. It's 16 years on. She's still married and she's still way out of your league. But seriously, Miss Mayor, if you're out there, hit me up just to chat. Sincerely yours, your biggest fan, Mr. Dan. You come and, but if you're not trying to bang your teacher, you come and let the boys know. You come and see us and you come and tell us what merch you've seen. Ali Crawford walking around a football pitch. Woo! Get there!
I feel a bit sorry for Ali Crawford this week.
Well, I know. He scored the winner. He scored the winner in our last 2 wins.
Yeah, what a guy. But we've got a title for this week. The first birthday party and rambling in the face of pace. There we are. The title has been decided based on that. But we need to keep this momentum going. We need to keep the good ship sailing up the sensational cINCH, and with a home tie against Dundee United on Saturday. And who better to speak to about this upcoming match than a fellow podcaster? They do a Dundee United one, and it's very bloody popular. It's the Dode Fox podcast, which was kind of one of the ones I listened to because I love Scottish football podcasts, and that one I listened to too, award-winning nonetheless, award-winning podcast.
Honestly, they're unbelievable. Absolutely. And sort of stuff the guys have done from Dode Fox podcast. And when they just went, should have got Ali Crawford on board, and they just went walking, just try and raise funds for the court case.
Yeah, we wouldn't do such a thing.
No.
But we have got Ronnie Costello from the Dode Fox podcast joining us right now to talk about the match on Saturday. Hi, Ronnie. How you doing, bud?
Not bad, guys. Thanks very much for the invite.
Not a problem. Thanks for joining us. The inspiration behind our podcast. You might not even know that. Dundee United had a cracking podcast. Saints didn't. And we still don't, to be fair. But we're trying our best.
It's all about opinions, lads. Come on. It's all about opinions.
Hands across Errol here, by the way, lads. Yeah. Hands across the Carson.
That is it. We need a half and half scarf for it. I've still got my Scottish Cup Final 2014 one.
You can bin that.
Dundee United on Saturday, coming off the back of a draw with bottom of the table Dundee. We'll talk about the January transfer window for you. Some players in. You've got Watt in, new keeper in. Is Kevin McDonald signed now? Is that official?
Signed, done. Yeah, it was on the bench last night. That's done.
And Reynolds, Fuchs, Kerr Smith is out, and Apierre. How do you make your January transfers?
I mean, when you look at numbers in versus numbers out, it's a wee bit like you're a wee bit worried. But then when you actually break it down, like Mark Reynolds, no kick a ball all season. Kerr Smith, Aston Villa, massive deal like that, £1 million up front, £1 million in add-ons, start to turn that kind of cash down. Really nice kid, wish him all the best. Is he a first teamer just now? Probably not. So whereas we're probably needing boys that can play right away. Shondo's a massive loss, but again, he was going to go in the summer, so they've took a bit of money now. Alves, whoever he was at before, got a wee cut of that as well, so it was kind of maybe freeing up a wage. Louis Yapere, again, out of contract in the summer. I think they got a decent offer of some cash yesterday. Again, another boy that's been in and out of the squad, so it's a real tough one. But when you look out, Jondo's the only one that's probably had the kind of minutes, and the rest of them, Logan Chalmers has went on loan, Declan Glasses went away on loan the day. That split opinion a lot because when you're lacking a wee bit of creative spark in the number 10 position, and he could give you that. He's went out alone, but again, maybe it's a case of he can go there and play every week. So, in terms of coming in, Kev McDonald, listen, I forgot half the player that played at Fulham and Burnley and whatever. I think we've got a real player in his hands. Tim Akinola's coming from on loan for Arsenal. You know, again, if you can have half the impact Dylan Levitt's had on us, he'll be a great addition as well. Tony Watt, I mean, you go out and buy the league's top goal scorer, but he's not known for his goal scoring. He's not scored yet, but his work rate's incredible. What he can bring to the team's really good. And we've definitely signed somebody else that I've totally forgot about.
Oh, your keeper, the Eriksson, is it?
Oh, the goalie. Yeah, Carl-Johan Eriksson, who's kind of seems to be going through a wee bit of a mini pre-season because he's not kicked a ball since the start of December. But again, he's coming in. He's an international keeper. He was goalkeeper of the year in their league. Benji's going to go in the summer. I've got no doubt about that. I don't think he's going to sign on a deal again. So he's probably going to be the number one going in next season. Haven't seen him yet. Looks a bit like he's up for it in the clips. He seems to like getting the crowd going and that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, numbers in, numbers out is a wee bit disappointing. But we have brought in, you know, the league's top goal scorer at the time, an international goalkeeper, a former Scotland international, you know, a highly rated kid from Arsenal. So, you know, it might work out the best. We don't know yet.
It does. We'll talk about the fixtures. We've played you twice this season. You won up in Perth with Peter Pollock goal. Saints were pretty poor. Dun United were pretty good that day. And we beat you at Tannadice somehow. Well, the Xander Clark show that day. I had an absolute amazing performance. What are you expecting from this Saturday? Because Thomas Courts has gone back to Tam Courts, which makes me think that that's on his. I think it's old Andy Murray. When he's brilliant, he's British. When he's pish, he's Scottish. I think when he goes back to Tam Courts, that's when he's in a bit of a struggle.
I think he's a fifer, so he'll take whatever we call him, really. But he's got a new jacket as well. My mates people have no commented on that because he gets comments about everything about him. I don't know. Last night was two pretty poor teams last night, and we never really done. I never thought we were losing, even like during the game. I never thought we were going to lose the game. Benji had one really good save, but other than that, nothing much. And then we put maybe 10 balls across the box, and you know, Nicky Clark was the closest, but how we put it over for 6 yards, I don't know. So yeah, it was quite frustrating. No, it's probably one of the worst derbies I've seen. The atmosphere in that was obviously quite good, but what was on offer wasn't great. We played a 3 at the back. Gives you a bit of width. We were quite strong at the back. Ross Graham coming for his first start. He played at Celtic at the weekend. Strolled it. How he couldn't get that hopeless Dunfermline team, I've no idea. But he done really well. I think there'll be changes again. I think it was 4 changes. What they'll be, I've no idea. You know what it's like. It depends what group chat you're in, who you follow on social media. People are already putting their teams out and whatever. If it was me, I'd go back to a 4 at the back. I think we need Peter Pollitt in to play. This square pegs, round holes with the 3 strikers all in the park doesn't work. Long balls up to Mark McNulty between 2 centre halves doesn't work. So yeah, there's a lot to work on. It's a great away day. I'm sure the fans will like it. Again, we won up there in the season, and then I think Jondo gifted you the goal at Tannadice, didn't he?
Yeah, lost it in the middle.
Skin. Did. Oh, so yeah, yeah. I think we'll be well up for it. I think fans will be well up for it. But you know, the locals are getting restless, as they say, as you can hear and we see it on social media. I mean, our second quarter of the season's been 5 points out of 30, or maybe 5 points out of the last 30. No, 5 points out of 30, I think it is. It's no good, but we're still only 4 points for 4th, and we're 6 points for 10th.
That's
How
it.
was that? How was that?
You would take it every day of the week, Dan.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it's like listening to us saying go back to 4 at the back, stop humping long balls up to Chris Kane, and then also absolutely mystified about how we've got off the bottom of the table because of one good result. I mean, it's just because Dundee is shit, but
mate, it was brilliant because Charlie Adams coming off punching the air at full time, and he's getting obviously you fat bastard for the crowd, and he's lamping it up, and I'm thinking he's got no idea that St Johnstone have just put them bottom of the league, and I am here for that. I am here for that. So yeah, so again, results kind of went for us again last night. You know, Hibs drew. Aberdeen never got anything, so it was it was one of them. It kind of seemed to go for us, and it happened a wee bit last year as well that we would be on a pretty poor run, but we wouldn't move. Like I think we've won one in about. We've won two. I take the cup out. One in maybe 12 or something. We've slipped from fourth, fifth to seventh, but the points have barely moved. Whether that says how bad we are or how bad teams around us are, but yeah, we're still in check, and it's amazing. I think how we're still in check because it's not been good enough at times. The first half was terrible against Dundee, hopeless in fact. And a mate of mine, there's no many good Dundee fans about, but he's all right. But he texted me last night saying we were excellent tonight, and I just thought, if that's you excellent, you have watched some utter shite this year because it was grim. Like, it was totally grim for both teams. It wasn't up to much. So, yeah, it's going to be... And you boys are just Ben Abdi. I mean, you've bought, about 15... The madman's in, Big Nadir. But there's a lot of numbers in, but I tell you what, boys, it shadows what we were doing in 2016. We just brought on loads of boys, and ultimately we went out the league, and it wasn't nice to see, but... Yeah. It's always good away days. Hopefully you do survive.
We've not changed goalkeeper. We've not brought in some goalkeeper who just chucks one in every game. So
we brought in a World Cup, a man that played in the World Cup. You would never
80
know it.
caps he had or something, didn't he?
Still playing the top flight in France still about last year or the year before. Yeah, no good. No, you've got a good goalie for certain. It's the other 10 in front you need to worry about something.
That's it. Let's touch on Xander Clark a moment. Like, he was linked with moves to Aberdeen and yourselves. Was there much merit in that, or was that just rumours, or did you hear much down your neck of the woods about a potential switch?
Certainly, I think at the time everyone was saying, well, Benji was going, we need to bring somebody in, and I think Xander Clark, if any of the United fans offered, would you take Xander Clark? Well, I think he would. You know what I mean? I think he's a very good goalie. Merits his inclusion probably in the Scotland squad. He's not a Scotland number one yet. I think time's still in his hand. I mean, Craig Gordon's 47 or something now. So, yeah, he was a good goal. I mean, is he going to go? Is he definitely going, you reckon? You reckon he'll go?
Yeah, I think he'll probably go at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think everyone's resigned, including the managers come out and said he's pretty much resigned. The offer's there for him, but you can't play. He's 29. If he wants to go and do something else or go somewhere else, he's been with us since he was a boy. So
he's not due us anything, as they say.
Yeah, well, there is that. I mean, when we were linked to him, you think, well, Benji was going. I think everyone was resigned to that. And when I seen McGregor throwing things in at the weekend, you thought there's going to be a last minute bid here, like something's going to go. But then, obviously, in no place, we bring in this, Finnish international goalie out in a place, which is how I've kind of liked us doing our business, because I don't know what it's like down your end, but in Dundee, you knew moves were happening days, weeks before they were happening a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And, that come out of no place, but he's international, he's played really well. No one knows him. He's an unknown quantity, but so was Benji at one point. So if he can be as good as him, I think we'll do all right long term.
You're right. I think he looks the part. I watched clips on YouTube actually, but we said this before. YouTube can make anybody look like a fucking football player.
You make me look like Zidane if you want.
St Johnstone and Dundee occupy the bottom two spots. As a Dundee United fan, do you want us to go down and out the league so you are the only team in the top flight, or would you want to keep us in for derbies and for close matches?
Well, between the three teams, there's only one real derby. I mean, I'm not giving you a taste like derby. I mean, that's nonsense. You can bin that off right now.
I've put this debate to bed because it was just a wormhole.
No having it. But certainly, I mean, we've spoken about it loads of times on our podcast that, obviously the game we always bring up McDermott's is the 3-2 game when we stayed up in 2001 and stuff like that. It's always a great away day, St Johnstone. I've always quite liked it. I think just to watch in real jealousy last year when you lift 2 cups, but on the flip side you're going, no fans, that's devastating. But the decline's been like unbelievable.
Oh, it's been tremendous. It's been great for us for content, to be fair.
Well, no, as I say, see, you get easy content when you're shy. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. For a footballing point of view and games and that, no, I would definitely not like Dundee to go. Same with St Johnstone. It's a long road. It's an easy away day for going to and getting a day out and whatever. No, I'm desperate to get like Ross County and that out. I mean, they're good away days if you plan them, but they're shite if you just go and back the same day.
Aye.
I'm not for that.
I would take an Inverness or a Ross County, one or the other.
Yeah, I can't hate Bethay. That's shocking banner. So, no, I hope Dundee certainly stay up. I would like St Johnstone to stay up as well because, again, it's a local away day and stuff. And, yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm not really sure I think Ross County, I don't think they're safe yet. I don't think anybody, even we're not safe yet. We need a few victories before we can even think of that as well. But I think it's going to be really close. I think, would you take the playoffs? Sorry, button, it's your pod.
Bite your hand off for the playoffs right now.
I tell you what, it'd be a good do as well. It'd be a proper tear up and all.
We tricked our brother.
I know you've suffered late, Ronnie, but
punching above their weight, mate. I mean, that's some incredible job they're doing. But yeah, we've been in the playoffs as the championship team. It's horrendous, eh? It's horrendous. And I think it's favour. Oh, mate, I think it favours Premier team though, because you just didn't play as many games. But by the time we went to St Mirren and Hamilton, out on our feet, you were absolutely on your feet both days. And but St Mirren was obviously penalties, but again, we were just done in by then. So yeah, I'm the same as you. Like at this time, if you're bottom of the league, take your chance in the playoff. But who do you want? You didn't want Arbroath, really. You didn't probably want to play Kilmarnock. No. Again, so like just go for it. We'll take it. It's 2 legs.
Yeah, that's it. We're just looking for a decent away day.
That's all you want, eh? That's all you want. As long as you get 8 points on Saturday, we'll be all right.
I was going to say, I'd take Kelly now. Tommy's gone, but then I remembered it's McInnes. It's another Saints manager alumni. So yeah, just a quick one, Ronnie.
Yeah.
For you. Sorry, you mentioned him before. Just before I let you go, he's pulled up injured, and he couldn't have done it in a worse place because it was in front of the away end against Dundee. But yeah, the madman. What if we get him at his best? What are we getting?
Oh, an enigma, an enigma. Like we've been lucky enough to speak to players that have played with him. Like Povey, John Rankin, Ryan Gold, Sean Dillon. And they're just like, and I would say to them, see when we took kickoff and he just went on his own. I'm assuming that wasn't the game plan. They're like, no, you can bet your fucking arse that wasn't the game plan. Like the ball's meant to go to A, to B, to C. And that, on his day, though, he was incredible. He always got a bit of a longer leash for Jackie McNamara and his team at the time. But he could win your game. And every one of them, and he was fighting with everyone in the training part. Like, even in training, he's elbowing boys. He's 50, 50-50. He is waiting at 100-0 in his favour. But every one of them said, I'd take him in my team. I would absolutely take him in my team. He done us a turn. He signed a new deal. We got 1.5 million for Celtic for him. He went, just didn't do anything. And it's been horrible to watch his career just sort of nosedive a wee bit like that. And then he come back and United fans are going, we'll take him. I think it remains to be seen this season, but we have definitely had the best in Nadir Chiefchi. He is just, what a man. He's one of the nicest boys you'll ever meet, but he is mental. But he's just everything he can bring. He's strong, he's direct, he can score both feet. He's not scared to put himself about. He can take penalties, he can take free kicks, he'll take corners if you let him. He'll celebrate before the ball's even in the net like he did at Newcastle Ibrox. He's just, if you can get him, he'll be incredible. But he's done his hammy though, isn't he? He's here for a wee while.
It's 5-6 weeks, yeah.
It looked, we reckon it didn't look like it was, he hobbled off, so it didn't look like, he didn't get stretched enough, so hopefully it's just a sort of pull, rather than a tear or anything like that. But yeah, me coming from my background in medicine here, which is non-existent. And I was me sitting about 50 yards away as well. So,
but
he's a great lad. If you can get him, you'll be fine.
But you'll be kind of glad he's not playing on Saturday. But we hope none of you turn up on Saturday. But let's hope football's the winner. But Saints get 3 points. Ronnie, it's been an absolute pleasure.
That is Miller.
Yeah, absolute cop out. That'll get edited out. Don't worry. Done. I make it sound all friendly, and then I edit in some swear words. Right, Ronnie, you can. And then slip that in. That's how it works. I've got the buttons. Thankfully, I've got all Lynn's equipment here. So
you're in charge of the edit. Do what you like.
That is it. Right, Ronnie, from the Don't Fuck, how can we listen to your podcast if anybody is struggling to get to sleep one evening?
Oh, if they're definitely struggling to get to sleep, get on Spotify, iTunes, Google, wherever you like, the Don't Fox podcast. Yeah, get on there, listen to that. Even if you're not a United fan, which I know, and you listen to this, will be like, who is this arsehole? there's loads of ex-players interviews that are really interesting. I didn't say that for like it's no a total love and a beat United, but some of the ex-players' stories are really interesting. Playing under Jim McLean, winning the league and stuff like that, because it doesn't happen often. So we've been really lucky, especially lockdown and the world stopped turning. We got loads of cool people on, so it's well worth it. If you do need to go to sleep, check it out.
Good, I have done, and I thoroughly enjoy it, to be honest with you. Honestly, I genuinely do. Ronnie Costello, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you on Saturday.
Cheers, boys. Take care. All the best.
Total Dundonian, but a nice guy.
Smashing fella, Ronnie. Really lovely lad. As we say, just one of the most successful and biggest podcasts in Scottish football. Even if not that anyone listening to this would be a Dundee United fan, apart from Ronnie, if he's listened back. But yeah, if you're into Scottish football and fancy just a different view on things and don't want to listen to us too, I can heartily recommend the Gold Fox podcast. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, good stuff. And we'll touch the game very, very briefly. Another massive, important game, Dan.
It's a huge game. Yeah, it really is. Obviously, a bit of a local flavour to things, which always adds a bit of spice. But yeah, it's about momentum now. United have, as we covered with Ronnie, United have been sort of falling away a little bit. They were fantastic early in the season, but they've been falling away. It's like, I know we've only won one game, but I just feel it's a good opportunity to notch a second up.
Yeah, I think they're certainly there for the taking, I think, on Saturday, and fingers crossed everybody turns up in their numbers. As we said with the Livingston boys, a great turnout at the Tony Macaroni midweek. So I really hope everybody turns out in force for the game on Saturday, gets right behind the boys, and hopefully we can kick on and get another 3 points and cruise up that table.
It's got a bit of aim. I think looking at the table is probably a little bit of a. It's going to sound bizarre, but now we're actually off the bottom. I think looking at the table, it's obviously important, but I think it's just a case of pulling wins together, just game by game. Don't look too far ahead. It's probably the only thing we can do at the minute is try and put a string of results together, and at the end of it, see where we are, because as a county have picked up in form. But maybe other than that, everyone's on a little bit of everyone's sort of in the bottom six, I should say, is on a little bit of a downward slope. Oh, St Mirren as well, sorry. I don't have to know about bottom six or top six.
No, nobody cares about St Mirren. But yeah, everybody's on a bit of a Debbie Downer at the moment. But I think it's going to be result first, performance second. For me, I don't really care how they play. Just get the result.
We're not in a position to have the luxury of caring about how we get results. It is just about, getting them. But I actually think that Livingston game's a template, to be honest with you, because it was it's not often we've been able to say this with Saints, but probably this season, all told, but it was actually really exciting to watch. I wouldn't say it was the highest quality of football, depending on what you're after, but it was exciting because it was played at a good tempo, played at fast pace. The place was lots of energy, lots of pressing, good, a bit of fight in there, and some really good build-up play and good passing the ball. So that's the template. That's what we've got to go with, and it's my belief, as a hashtag noted football expert. No, I genuinely think that's the way you get out of a sticky situation like we're in.
Yeah, but I'm taking both the boys on Saturday. Hopefully they're going to be lucky charms and we'll get plenty of goals, plenty of action and another 3 points. But we have reached the end of another podcast, Dan. And what a podcast it was.
It's been a marathon. It's been unbelievable.
It is. At the current time of recording, we are at 2 hours, 40 minutes. I'm going to have to knock this down a bit. But none of the features, they're going to be staying. You have not missed anything, trust me.
No, it's just, to be fair, we did spend a considerable amount of time talking to the Livy boys about anything but football.
Shooting the breeze, as we like to call it. But we have to thank the Livingston boys, the Almondview Podcast, the Dode Fox Podcast, and Ronnie Costello. David and Jason, who came on for Wendy Who, yourself, Dan, as always, Daniel Lamb from Flonix, who once again supported the podcast this week. Please visit flonix.co.uk for all your IT solutions. What a team.
Absolutely tremendous team. And they've been great supporters about it. We say it all the time, genuinely mean it. They've been absolutely brilliant supporters of ours.
Bum, 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 bum. Pennsylvania polka. Sorry. Yeah, we do say it all the time. It's thoroughly deserved, and they're great. They support St Johnstone as a club. They support us.
Yeah, they really do. Dan's a St Johnstone fan, so it's a great involvement he's got with the club and with ourselves, and we're very grateful for it. Just a couple of thank yous for myself. Sam, to you as always for being the absolute guy, for having stayed the Good Ship Dogger for the last, or the Good Ship Dogger Saints podcast for the last year now. Unbelievable, mate. And yeah, the biggest thank you, as always, you lovely, apparently lunatics out there, because you've got us to a year. Everyone who's listened to this podcast at any point over the last year, it's been an absolute gas, and very much looking forward to the next year and beyond, unless we go down.
Yeah, but that will be the best podcast in the championship. How about that? But we will see you back on Monday. We will have a St Johnstone former player on the podcast, and it will be a belter.
It's got to be big. It's got to be mega. And I can't wait to see it. But Sam, do you know what else is big? Do you know what else is mega?
Go on.
My Flonix song.
Of course it is. One last time. Take it away, Daniel.
F-L-O-N-I-X. If you can't spell it, greedy will instead. It's Flonix, and they do IT solutions that I think are nice. Serve your IT needs and men, then Flonix are your friends. And do support the doggers with pride. I fucked it up.
But don't you worry about it. It was a legendary song nonetheless. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do you have time to sing a goodbye song before you go? Always there.
Hey, this was really fun.
We hope you liked it too.
Seems like we've just begun when suddenly we're through. Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. 'Cause now it's time to go. But hey, I say, well, that's okay.
'Cause we'll see you very soon, I know.
Very soon, I know. Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. And tomorrow just like today.